viewers, welcome to today's episode of the Economic Trend Pointer. I'm your host Immaculate Burunja, and with me are our resident panelists, Dr. Patrick Saisi, Head of Economic Department, Moi University, Mr. Richard Thiele, a lecturer of economics, Moi University. In our today's episode, we are focusing on the budgeting and funding of the IEBC Part 2. In our last episode, we focused on the IEBC budgeting and funding, and we say that funding of the IEBC is part of the government's role in order to ensure that there are free and fair elections. Mr. Thiele, in our last episode, we say that funding of the IEBC is part of the government's role.
Yes.
And today, as we still focus on the IEBC, we can see that there is a report that was produced after the last elections, that is 2013. And this time, they have also produced a budget. What do you have to say about this?
Thank you, Immaculate. Yes, I think about the government's work actually to really fund the election. That is one. Number two, considering what we used the other time, that is in the 2013, we used 29 billion. Remember what had been budgeted for was only 26 billion. And after there was additional monies which actually went up to around 3 to 4 billion. So the whole budget or the whole actual figures which were used are up to 29 billion. Now, considering what we have and what we used in the year 2013, today, well, actually this 2017 budget is actually 45 billion. And if you look at what they have just even what the IEBC is asking, of course, currently we are going on, and we are sure of the elections which are going on or the registrations which are going on. Now, there is what is called money is being given out, but it's not sufficient. But you know, what is required is 45 as far as the IEBC is concerned. Maybe you look at the status as we go along. Thank you.
Thank you.
I do feel that the amount of money that is being asked by IEBC as per now compared to last time is not justifiable, because moving from 29 billion to 45 billion needs a lot of justification, because one, the other time when we were talking about 26 or 29 billion, we were talking about buying of BVR kits. Now, nobody's talking about buying those kits. It's like we have enough, and therefore why the budget has rose to 25 billion needs to be investigated. I feel that in fact the 29 billion without BVR kits, it should be even 20 billion. So because a lot of money was used to buy these BVR kits that let us down. So unless they want to purchase more of those gadgets, then 45 billion is not justifiable.
Thank you. I think what Dr. said is that difference of 15 billion is quite a huge sum, and even if they have more polling stations compared to the previous one, you recall the previous one there were only 33,000 polling stations. This time around there are actually 44,000 polling stations. So even despite the fact that there is an increment of the polling stations, even there will be more of the clerks in those polling stations. If the BVRs which were purchased in 2013 are to be used, then the figure is very high.
Dr. Saisi, there is already current ongoing registration which has received funds from donors, and the registration is still going on well despite some few challenges. And does it mean that the IEBC can still do without the 45 billion that is asking for, and still do with less funds?
You know, Immaculate, there are some things that needs to be put into perspective. You know, as per now, yes, registration is going on, but it's not going on in the entire 44,000 polling stations. The reason being that now, even if they are saying that these BVR kits, they are being taken from one polling station after an hour to another one, and so on and so forth. So I feel that even though they may be called small challenges here and there, but people are working. People don't have time to be following the BVR kits wherever they are. Those gadgets, for example, if they are supposed to be in a polling station, we can say let them be in a polling station for a week, so that week people are able to register. And then they can move to another one. Not in a day, that BVR gadget moves to around 10 polling stations, because after 1 hour they have moved and so on. And you know the kind of, the way we Kenyans are. You know, if they say registration starts at 9, people will start flocking in at 12, because they have to go first of all to do some farming or to buy things before they come. So for us, I think the registration to me needs to be enhanced in the sense that there must be some reorganization of how this BVR can be used.
Sure. In addition of Mr. Siale, we've seen opposition members of parliament asking for this space so that they can go and mobilize their followers to go and ask them to come and register as voters in order to help the IEBC achieve their targets. What do you have to say about that?
Yeah, thank you. I think to me it is, as you have said, it is actually the so-called elected members of parliament and all these senators should assist the IEBC to call the members of their constituents, for example, to come and do what? To come and register. Because that is one way of actually assisting the IEBC to shorten even the term. Because the more they come, the earlier they come, the better for IEBC, because registration here is going on. Number two, we'll now be able to say at the end of the day, maybe the 1 month which has been given with the 60 days, somebody will say, no, let us extend. But we are not doing anything much to do with what? And calling the members to come and register now. Yeah. We are waiting and then we say, no, the time was not sufficient. So to me, it is good if every member of parliament or whoever is a representative to call the members to come and register. And that will be able to either shorten the period or hasten the registration. If anything, if there will be some pushing ahead of the time, that is of the period, we have done our best. So that we can say that members came to register, but the time was not sufficient. But as of now, we are just, members should do something.
Yeah. And still on the IEBC, they gave us a time period of 1 month, actually from 15th February to 15th March. Do you think this time is enough, considering that there are people who are working far away from where they want to vote from?
I think what is emanating from the field, as far as this registration is concerned, seems to indicate that this time may not be enough. One, because it looks like the BVRs are not enough. And so the way they are being moved from one place to the other, people come, they find already the clerk has moved to another polling station. That seems to be a problem. And therefore, reorganization, the way I said earlier, should be effected, in the sense that since we may not be having enough BVR gadgets, then we need to have at least 2 months, the extra months, to compensate for these moving up and down. If they make it 2 months, then what do? We can say in every polling station, when that gadget is there, it has to stay for the whole day before it moves to another place, rather than staying for an hour in Eldoret town, and then another hour it is in Kapseret, then another hour it is in Keses, and so on and so forth. That people will not be able to register. So reorganization by extending a number of the period, so that then we put the gadgets, when we know those gadgets are in one polling station, we know that whole day the gadget will be there and the people can flock there and register. That will at least be able to register more people.
Mr. Saleh, we've seen in Mombasa County where these BVR gadgets have been moving from one police station to the other, to the other, to the other. Well, the members go, they find the clerk has already moved from this place to the other in an hour's time. What do you think about this? Does it mean that the BVR gadgets are not enough?
Thank you. I think this is not only in Mombasa. You have to take into consideration even in other areas there is movement of the gadgets from one place to another, or one polling station to the other. Let us look at this IEBC. When they were budgeting that we need, for example, the 44 polling stations, for example, we need this amount of money, which is 45 billion. I'm sure, and for example, they were saying 1 month. I'm sure they were budgeting or actually giving that period, for example, the 1 month, considering they have all the gadgets. Because for them to plan and say, we need 1 month, and surely 1 month was enough. So if you look at what we are doing, we are walking from one place, just hop, step and jump. Every minute we are in another place. That now distorts even the 1 month. And as to me, even as a chairman, if I happen to be the one, and I'm sure he should be able to review the time period from one month and extend, considering what we have. If they required if they had all the gadgets, whatever they are budgeted for, and they are not there, how many do we have, which is equivalent to how many days now? Because we need to extend the number of periods. So the idea of actually moving from one place to another one needs to extend the periods. That one is an automatic and it's logical that it must be extended for us to cover the entire. So thank you.
Dr. Saisi, we've seen a shortage of the BVRs. Last time we had that 3,000 polling station, and now we are having 44,000 polling stations. That means a shortage of 11,000 BVR gadgets. What is going to happen during the elections period to these polling stations that are missing the gadgets?
What I can say is that I don't know what is going on, because where I come from, I don't see. Yes, we are being told that we have 44,000 polling stations, but where I come from, I have not seen any new polling station. So first of all, we need to establish where these new 11,000 polling stations are. And if these polling stations are there, then they should have put a budget for BVRs there, so that they can be able to buy and be able to make that deficit, so that this thing of moving from one place to the other is not the BVR kids moving from one place to the other is kind of stopped. But I'm surprised that in the budget of IEBC, they have not budgeted anything to do with extra BVR gadgets. So I'm wondering how they are going to do what they are going to do when it comes to voting, because these gadgets are required in each and every polling station for the purpose of voting. So I'm seeing a problem whereby when it comes to voting, unless they have something in place, probably maybe they will put in the next budget so that they can buy that next year, the 11,000 gadgets for the extra polling stations.
We are going for a short break, but remember you can always send us your comments on the number down on the screen, and always on our Facebook page, that is the Economy Trend Pointer. Don't go to